Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for your time this evening. Today, we have the real pleasure to host the pre-sessions of the upcoming Techstars Startup Weekend Women Dublin. And today, for the next 20 minutes or so, we have the real pleasure to host Wivine, who is the CEO of YJ Service. Hi, Wivine. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay. Yourself?
Perfect. All good. Thanks. But before starting, let me just outline that if you haven't done so, please go to the link above and make sure that you grab your ticket to join the Techstars, which will take place in 2 weeks. Specifically from the 24th to the 26th of March. If you are not aware of what the Techstars Startup Weekend Women Dublin is, I just want to quickly outline that it is a 54 hours event, and our aim is to let people interested in starting their startup or just interest in understanding and wearing the shoes of the founders of early stage startup, understand how the startup life is. So I know we don't have too much time, so I would like to kickstart with you, Wivine, today. Could you please tell us more about yourself, probably, and your business?
Okay, thank you so much, Celia, for the opportunity, and thanks for having me here for the pre-session. So I'm going to start just give you a brief introduction about myself and my business, and I will share the screen so you have a few slides as well as I'm talking. So
that will be great. Thanks so much.
Not a problem. Okay, so first of all, my name is Wivine Kabasele is my name. I'm natively from Congo, Kinshasa, and obviously I left Congo very early, and I have been in Ireland for over 15 plus years. So I come from a financial background, business studies and professional communication, which I completed here in Dublin and in Athlone, County Westmeath. And I also possess over 10 years of experience within the professional communication between B2B and B2C, so business to business and business to customer. And I've I would say in the course of my years of experience, I'm skilled in the recruitment services, and I'm really passionate about individuals on how they succeed on their career path. So today, obviously, I'm here to talk about my business, which was launched March 2020 with the name of YJ Services. It is long, or is it short for Your Journey. Why did I choose the name Your Journey? Because I believe that everyone has a path, which they enter into, whether it is from secondary school, from primary, from college, from uni, it's a whole path. And once you're finishing your higher education, you're entering into a professional life, which obviously helps you to develop your career. That's also a journey. So my obviously a job, or the highlight of the name, it came to help people through their path, through their career, so that they can succeed. And I came up with this name back in March 2020 during the pandemic, where everything seemed a little bit dark in the terms of people not knowing what they want. So I've helped people so far. You could see the percentage on the screen there. We have helped with the CV preparation of 50% so far, and we have helped with interview preparation of 20%. And in terms of career or planning or coaching, I've helped up to 30%. So I have a slogan for my business. It's called One Goal, One Passion. Why do I say one goal? Because my goal is obviously to help the person or an individual to find the best career by giving them different tools that may be available, which comes to CV, cover letter, helping them to update the LinkedIn profiles, and walking them through on how to prepare for interview. This is my goal, to help them to develop themselves. And once they have developed that, and then my passion then comes in, is when that person that I helped to find or to figure out their goal, but my passion comes in when I see that candidate succeeding, that candidate finding the job that they want. And I don't just end, well, the candidate has found a job. I also help them within the company so they can develop and become a CEO, become team leader, upgrading their skills. So that's in a nutshell what my business is all about. So it's not just a simple HR consultancy, but it's a whole life, it's a whole journey that that assembles every area of your life.
Perfect. That sounds lovely. Yeah. And probably we can start with our Q&A sessions. Mm-hmm. So I know that we have a couple of people writing in our chat. So I will start with the first two questions. So one of our attendees wants to know, so you started your career as an employee, if I'm not mistaken. So could you please tell us more? What were the reason that made you basically like shift and moving from being an employee to like a founder and CEO of your own startup?
Okay, that's a very good question. So in early 2012, 2014, I used to help my family member. I have the most, I would probably say HR, it is a natural skill that comes with me. Why am I saying this? Because I've helped cousins, nephews, building up their CVs while they had nothing. And I've even been able to orientate people when it comes to education. I was giving free advice without actually knowing that this was my calling, because I believe that everything that we do out of passion, that is our calling, and everything that we do out of ability, that's what we study. So for me, this was my calling. I was doing it back in 2014, 2015, helping family member. I even remember back in 2017, I made some family member move from Austria to here to establish themselves. And today they're actually team leader in so many different companies, because I was able to, I would say, persuade them, but also coach them through the career path. And why did I come up with this idea? Because back in 2019, going to 2020, I decided to go back to IT Tala to complete a professional communication course. And this course had one of the module that was business ethics. And it was really intrigued. And then I loved it because it pretty much enlightened me on how we see things differently in businesses. Sometimes we come to companies and we don't know what are our rights or what are our ethics. And this really helped me to elaborate myself. And even the professional communication course, it did help me to work on my communication skills. And that's why I said, okay, it's pandemic. People don't know what to do next. I need to do this. So that's why I help out. And that's pretty much why I left from being just a simple employee to an employer, if I have to say.
Amazing. So just to summarize for our audience, what I am understanding is that passion and then, of course, education, so learning, were your polar star that, you know, made you comfortable in starting your business. So in switching from being a full-time employee, full-time employer, startupper. Interesting, lovely. Yeah. And could you please also share what are, let's say, the key challenges that you had to face in order to make this shift?
It's been tough. Obviously, when you are a business owner and you have the idea, you don't have people around you. You have to be the one do your own publicity, pretty much. You have to do your own marketing. You have to do mouth to mouth to people, and you have to make sure that people know you from different areas. Because what I do, I don't just specify or myself here in Ireland. I have people reaching out to me even from London. My first customer were actually from London, and they were the one that discovered me through social media. So I understood the power of social media. So I've been really emphasizing on the social media when it comes to being known or being seen. And the key challenge are probably going to be is people getting used to the brand, getting used to the idea of having a different business that isn't common to what they know. So this has been my key challenge. But again, I need to face those things in order for me to overcome, because everything cannot be smoothly. It was easy in the beginning when everyone was at home. You could get people and just make up calls and then talk to them. But now when you're trying to get people to have an interview preparation, it has to make like a schedule of 2 or 3 weeks in advance, because people are back and being busy again. And even the recruitment life itself is becoming busy. People are more demanding now. So now tailoring everyone per their desire and demand, that's also challenging, you know, because people want to have more money now. They want so much criteria. So those are the challenges that I keep facing every day when you think, okay, this person is an entry-level job. No, it's not entry-level job anymore, because they have done so much during the pandemic that they have developed their skills. So now finding the right fit for them is what becomes challenge. But I also find it very fun, because then you kind of juggle between different personality, different people. So I won't say it's challenging, but it's fun, if I had to say like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of, let's say, your current audience, I know that one of the biggest challenges for founders, especially when they are at like early stage, when they are still understanding what to do next, is okay, who am I targeting? Am I right? Do you have an understanding, a solid understanding already of who your target customers are?
So since the name of the company is Your Journey, so short for YJ, for me, I believe that the future of tomorrow are the students, the graduated students. So those are my key people that reach out to me, mostly graduated students, finishing 3 years course, 4 years course, not knowing how to enter into the career life, not knowing where to start. Those are my first customer, I have to say. And also it is the graduated student people and people that have been made laid off without actually having any other job done before. As I said, my first customer were people from London, and those were people that were coming from airlines background. So they will have been working with British Airlines, and they've been doing this for the past 10 years. They have no other experience than cabin crew people. So those are also my people that I have been targeting, is developing their skills. What is other things that they can do apart from being cabin crew? And a lot of them have been able to establish the business by now, because they have so much things that they have learned, but they didn't know that. So graduated students and people that have been laid off during the pandemic, or again, people that are already within the company, but they don't know how to develop. Recently, I was speaking to someone that wanted a promotion, but they didn't know how to develop within the company, because they were so laid back, they were so sure about their current position that for them to get promoted, it was a big step. So I'm helping out the people that also within the company already that doesn't know how to actually change from one team to another team. So those 3 categories will be my main one: graduated, laid off people, and people within the company wanting to move a step forward.
Perfect. No, that's make lots of sense. Yeah. And this is just probably like a personal question. So I think that one of the key reasons why our audience is interested in attending the Techstars Startup Weekend in Dublin is to either understand what are the next steps to actually build their startup, and or understand whether they can help startup succeed in the next well. So how can you help those who will attend this event as employee, but they have a desire to switch their career, so to move from, let's say, like a stable full-time job to a less solid, definitely, journey in an early stage startup?
Okay. As you will have seen, I mentioned it during my introduction there that I've helped with career development. If I had to go percentage-wise, about 30%. And also earlier, I said I helped people that was within one company but wanted to become founder or CEO of a specific their own brand. So if people were obviously coming up on the startup and they wanted to launch a business or wanted to shift their career, what I would tell them is coming with ideas, because we all have ideas. Okay, that's one thing we have to know. But then again, what's the purpose behind those ideas? Because I had an idea, I had a dream. If I have to say, I had a dream that I wanted to bring it into reality, but I had to make sure and see what are the demands in the market, what is the demands or the requirements out there, because there are different business, but everyone is doing it differently. I have my own touch, everybody can have their own touch. So coming up on this startup, I would say come up with open-minded, okay? Come up with ideas that you think might be different to another person, because we all sleep differently, we all dream differently. So I'm sure if you came with one idea that says to make a lollipop, for example, if you had the recipe for a lollipop that has strawberry, someone will have a recipe of a lollipop of banana. So it is different. So having a different idea, different mindset will obviously enable you to shift out from what you're currently doing and to what you want to become. Think about what you want to become. What legacy do you want to leave? Because me, for example, I didn't say that I'm a mother. I want to leave a legacy. I want my children to look back and say, oh, our mom did this. She was an employee, but she stepped out from her comfort zone. She set up a business, and here we are. We have a name, we have a brand that our mother did. So think about legacy as well, because then everything is going to be in vain. Because for me, I think everything needs to have a purpose. So if it has a purpose, then you need to grab it.
Absolutely. No, thanks so much. This was very, very inspirational. So thanks so much for sharing. And we have two last questions. So one of our attendees want to know, how do you manage your work-life balance as a founder and entrepreneur?
I have a very balanced work-life balance, actually. Like over the weekend, I was in Germany and I came back, and then I knew I had to do this today. So it's all about planning, to be honest. I like to plan ahead, so I'm not overstressed, because when you're overstressed, you're not going to give the best of yourself. So planning is the key. So make sure you don't schedule 2 meetings that you will know will be very fruitful. You schedule them all in one day. I try to give everybody as per their priority, and also try to take breaks in between, just have not long hours, because I know as entrepreneurs, we tend to not sleep. But again, I like my beauty sleep. So I work during the day. I don't work during the night, because that's bad. Because you need to sleep so that you can have fresh idea. You can come up with fresh things. So I try to plan my time that my hours are very strictly there. And then when it's time to rest, I cool off, I switch off everything, no electronic, just so I can resource as well, because it's required. So organizing is the key, which we can tend to go a little bit off. But I think once you have a good organization, I write notes everywhere. I'm very old fashioned. So I take down notes with a pen. I don't use my phone much. So I can sit down, and when I have an idea, I have my notepad. I just start writing ideas, and I'll leave it there. And I'll come back again for another day and open up those notes. So writing ideas from time to time is also good to organize.
Perfect. So planning is the key item here. planning.
Is the key. Yes, keep planning until you're tired.
Amazing. So I know we have only a couple of minutes left, so I will take only one final question. Okay. So we would like to know, how do you manage the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur?
The ups and downs is not reaching my target, because I tend to put myself, I can be strict on myself, but I also try to be reasonable. Okay, so when I put a target, I try to give a frame time that I know it would be reasonable to accomplish it. Like this year, I was telling myself, the first quarter, I need to appear on a newspaper. And luckily, I was happy enough just before entering March. 2 days ago, someone say, okay, I'm going to put you on the newspaper. You're going to be on the newspaper before March. So I was happy. But then sometimes things doesn't happen according to my schedule or according to my timing. So those will be the downsides. But this could also be if things are not planned properly. So that's why I kept saying planning and having strict and reasonable time frame will avoid you having upside down, because we only have upside down when we don't know where we're going. So I try to have a roadmap of every month. What am I expecting this month? What is the thing that I want to communicate to my people, especially on social media now that everybody is more eager to listen to what do they have to say. So I try to plan that way so I don't get disappointed at the end of the month. So every month needs to be accountable. Every month needs to be special. But again, planning needs to be reasonable. So that's how I deal with my upside down to be done.
Perfect. I think, this makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for your time. It was lovely to meet you. And I really hope and I strongly believe that, this session will be very, very helpful for all of our network, because we can learn from your experience. And so thanks so much for your time, but also for sponsoring this event, because without people like you and companies like your companies, this event couldn't be possible. So thanks so much, really. And I will see you soon in 2 weeks.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Perfect.
for having me. And thanks again for obviously taking the time to talk to me. And I am very honored to be among the sponsors. And I know this is not just the first one, but it's the first out of many. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And guys, if you want to chat with Wivine to better know what she does and how she can help you, we have her email and link to her website at the bottom of this screen. So don't be shy and email her. She will be more than happy to jump on a call with you and see how she can support.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you so much, Lydia. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.